Well guys, it's a new week and that means another episode of the O Show, and where else to start but here at the Leyton Orient training ground. Let's get started. Right, so it's another episode and we've got a great one in store for you. We're going to be catching up with Goal of the Month competition winner Josh Wright, and we'll be chatting a little bit about his goal scoring career. But first, let's go and catch up with player coach Joby and hear his thoughts ahead of Saturday's game against Exeter. Let's go. I'm joined now by Joby. Joby, thank you for joining me, mate.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you on as well. Let's just start briefly by looking back at what was pretty disappointing Saturday. I think that puts it lightly, but you know, Swindon were a good side. What did you take away from Saturday's game?
Obviously, first and foremost, from our point of view, we were very disappointed in our own performance. We knew what Swindon are about, in terms of what they bring to the party and how they play. And they are a good team, and I feel they will be there or thereabouts this year. But we always look at ourselves first, and whoever we play against, our standards have been a lot higher than that. At different times this season, and for me, that was the first real big drop in terms of the performance levels. And we were very, very disappointed as a staff and as a group of players. With that, they capitalised on it, and say fair play to them. But as I say, we were nowhere near it in pretty much every department.
The O's probably weren't in the best shape in that first half, but you do feel as though in that second half something changed. What was said to him at half time?
Well, we just wanted a response. Wanted to get a little bit closer to them. Well, a lot closer really. We didn't lay a glove on them in the first half, and from our point of view, it would have been very difficult 3-0 down to get something back from the game. But by getting that first goal and giving us something to go after, just giving ourselves something to take out of it, because it was bitterly disappointing. I think we'll all admit the first half, and I think the lads showed a great deal of character in difficult circumstances, and some good football as well, and we were much more on the front foot, and we made a little adjustment, and got the boys a bit higher up the pitch. We felt we were too deep in the first half, and in the face of a desperately poor first half, I thought we actually were good in the second half.
Yeah, and obviously it is now a fresh week. We've had a week off, no Tuesday night game, and we've got a long trip on Saturday. How have the boys been looking?
Yeah, good. We've made a point of just really using the week to try and nail down some things that we needed to work on, not just as a result of Saturday, but general principles and things that we want to do in terms of how we play. And we've had the time to do that this week, so it's been a real good week. The boys have been good. We went through the video and had a bit of a chat about our standards and things that we need to do better. So it's been a positive week off the back of a negative result on Saturday.
And obviously, as I said, it's a long trip down to Exeter, and they're pretty high up in the table themselves. It's not going to be an easy game, is it?
No, but no. It's probably a good game for us in that we know we've got to go there and be at it. We can't go there like we showed on Saturday against particularly the better teams. If you're not quite right, you will get punished. So for me, it's a good game off the back of that. One we can really go and look forward to enjoy. They've started off really well, and it's about us going up there and upsetting the form, I suppose, at the moment. Nice.
And just finally, Joe, before we wrap it up, you've had your first full month now as your new role as the player coach. How have you found it? How have you been settling in now?
Yeah, good. It's a bit of a juggling act at times. Obviously, trying to get back from the injury and doing my rehab for that, and then obviously making sure that I'm around and out on the training ground and supporting obviously Ross and Webby, and I suppose being that little bridge from the playing group to the staff. But it's something I've really enjoyed, and looking forward to getting my teeth into a bit more as we move forward. And from my point of view, I'm very fortunate to be in this position, and just trying to make the most of it and add what I can to certainly the coaches and the feedback I can give in relation from what's coming up from the lads. So really enjoying it.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining me again, Jobs. I look forward to catching up with you again soon, and best of luck for Saturday.
Nice one, thank you.
Top stuff as always from Jobs. And now with our next guest, you can never go wrong, not when it's Josh Wright. Let's go catch up with him. Here we go. Right, so I'm here in the boot room now with Josh Wright. Josh, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
No problem.
Well, we're here today now to discuss the goal of the month that you won. You had two great goals at the Bro Group Stadium this month, but it was the one against Cheltenham that picked up the award. It's obvious why it got chosen. It must be a really memorable goal for you, isn't it?
Yeah, look, if we're being truthful, I'd imagine with different circumstances, if it was either out of them two goals, it would have probably been the one against Crawley that maybe would have been voted. But I think it's very fitting and very nice, if you like, that it's been voted for the goal of the month, the first one against Cheltenham, and I can only thank everyone that has voted for that. And of course, it was a very, if we cast our minds back to that now, it was a very tough day, a very emotional day that ended probably in the best way that it probably could, and obviously that goal will stick in my memory and mind for the rest of my lives, and it's something that I'm sure I'll get asked about. I'm sure that I'll be telling my kids, hopefully grandchildren and family, friends, and people that are interested within the game or out, for the rest of my life, as I say, because it was very, very emotional, and I still go back to it, and it was so surreal, how it all happened. So, look, it's fantastic that I won goal of the month, and it was fantastic that we won on the day. And obviously, I've said this many times. It was obviously for the main man, and in Justin, with all his family there as well, and we all know he was with us. So, no, listen, it was one of them special goals that I will take with me forever.
Yeah, for sure. The scenes afterwards and the celebrations, I think, will stick in everyone's memory. But I'm glad you touched on your other goal there against Crawley. That was a pretty spectacular hit. Because I want to just have a chat about kind of some of the goals in your career so far and just some different goals. So we'll start off with, am I right in saying that you once scored a hat-trick in how many minutes for Gillingham?
I don't know, what was it, 11 minutes? 12
11 minutes?
Something like that, something in that region, yeah. It was actually against one of my old clubs, who I'm sure we'll get onto, one of the goals I scored for them, Scunthorpe. But we were 2-0 down, we were up against it, and we were putting pressure on them second half. I think we were 2-0 down, I'm pretty sure we were. And anyway, getting to the story, we get, I forget what minute it was, it might have started in the 76th, 78th minute, something in that region. We win a penalty, and I'd taken one not so many weeks before against Southend, one of my old clubs. And so I stepped up, scored the first one, slotted it in the right-hand corner. Well, at my right-hand corner, the keeper's left, he went that way. And then before we know it, we win another penalty, and it's 2 penalties within so many minutes, and it's like, take a deep breath, this could be tough, step up. Sent the keeper the wrong way, went the opposite corner that way, and before you know it, you're 2 penalties. I'm obviously over the moon, but also for the game as well, we're like, we pulled a point out of nowhere here, let's take this. And in the dying minutes, 5-6 minutes later, something in that region, the ball dropped. I actually got on the end of the ball, took a touch into the box, and the players brought me down. I've won the penalty. I've jumped up, the players were already celebrating with me and saying like we've won the game, and I'm trying to keep my cool, thinking, hang on, is it me who's going to step up here? And I did sort of debate maybe not taking the third one because of what was riding on it, and the fact I'd just taken 2 within so many minutes. I had 1 or 2 players telling me where to go and what to do. Anyway, I kept my cool, stepped up and went the same corner. I think the keeper went the other way again, and that was another day that was like, wow, did that really just happen, after? And it's something else that obviously I'll keep with me and it still gets brought up now and mentioned quite often. And it was also another very special, memorable day.
I was going to say, it sounds pretty mental. I don't know what the record is, but that must be, it must be up there in some kind of record. What would you say has been the best goal you've ever scored? The best hit?
The best hit would have been a goal for Millwall against Burnley. It was at Burnley away. It was we had a wide free kick from the left, and I tend to do the edge quite often in the teams that I play, the type of player I am and position I play. And the wide free kick come in, I don't know if it was Ben Mee or a centre half or fullback for Burnley. He's headed it out, quite far out, sort of the box. So the ball's coming to me now from there, say the goal, and as it's coming over, I think I just made my mind up that I'm going to hit it, and I caught the volley.
What we sound like, 30 yards?
Maybe 25-ish,
yeah.
maybe 25-ish if I might underdone myself or overdone myself there, but I caught it as sweet as you could catch it, and powerful volley sort of went over. The keeper then, I think is it the keeper who's just gone to United last season or this season as the number 3, Grant?
Lee Grant.
I think it might have been Lee Grant, but that would have been the best hit I've ever hit, because that was one of them that you could do 10, 20 plus times and catch one sweet one, yeah. And I obviously caught that one very sweet, so that was probably my best hit. And close to that, or one of my favourite goals, was another a good hit, probably slightly different to the Crawley goal because I went a different corner, but similar sort of the way I took more touches before the Crawley goal this season. It was against Man United for Scunthorpe in the Cup. We were playing them at home, and it put us 1-0 up and one of my good mates, Martin Wolford, went down the left-hand side, come in, just passed it back to me. I took one touch, hit it, and it went sort of top corner. So that was another clean hit that I've hit. So they're probably the two that stand out for me in terms of a couple of good goals.
There's one goal that stands out for me, and it's actually looking back to your, I don't know, it might have been your first or even your, I think it was your first spell at the club when we went to Coventry away. That was that even still sticks in my memory as one of the best away games in recent years. That was probably surreal times for you in terms of where the club was in the table, but that was a good night, wasn't it?
Yeah, listen, I do remember that clearly, and I liked, I should say, as at present, playing at the Ricoh Arena because it's a fantastic stadium. I made my reserve debut for Charlton there when I was like 14, 15 with like on the pitch 10 other strong first team experienced players with players on first team players on the bench as well, so I always remember that. But the actual goal, I remember sort of getting given a different role towards the end of that tough period, and we haven't got to go into that, but it was obviously a very tough period with the club, and my role slightly changed, and I was trying to get in the box a little bit more at that stage, and I remember just kept trying to gamble, and I gambled, got slotted through, as you say, and slipped it in right in front of the away travelling fans, and I remember celebrating. I had a couple of mates in the crowd, and I actually genuinely believed, and I think many did, that we'd stay up after that night, and I thought I'd done it, but I thought I'd played a big part in us staying up, and the rest is history. But yeah, that was one goal that sticks out, and also that same season because of circumstance, and it probably, I think I might have touched on this in a few interviews I've done over the last so many months since the tragedy with Gaffer. I scored for us, obviously, against Gillingham when Justin was managing Gillingham then, and it was obviously it was a game. I think it finished 3-3. It was quite a high-scoring game, and we were getting well beat, to be fair. And I think we pulled it back 3-2. And this was the equaliser, 3-3. And Darius Henderson just slotted one to the side, and then I slipped it in. I went running over to where my family were by the dugouts, but sort of celebrated, not knowing in front of Justin. And I think he took it as maybe I was doing it to get at him, but it wasn't, nothing like that. And that was also, and anyway, long story short, we came very close, obviously a little bit before, but mainly after that. And that's another goal for Orient as well that sticks out. Both of them goals that season, to be honest.
Nice. And let's just go back right to the very beginning of your career. By the sound of it, you scored quite a few goals. But what was your first ever professional one? I'm guessing that still sticks in your mind. First
ever professional goal, yeah, it does stick in my mind. I've had spells when I didn't score a lot of goals, mainly because of the way I was asked to play and position, and I've become a bit pigeonholed by managers and took it literally, if you like, as a kid, and I'm adapting now. But anyway, my first goal went out on loan at 17 for Barnet in League Two. So it was I was still a young kid, a boy, and I was learning my trade. And I got sent out a full season there, which left me in great stead, and really enjoyed it. And I scored away at Stockport for them. I think it might have been the opening goal. Sort of break down the left, cross came in, it bounced. It was a bit of a half volley. I've never really seen it back, if I'm honest, over. So I don't know if I'd be able to ever get it up. But
hopefully Els can find it and get it in here.
Hopefully the main man can find it, yeah. But it came across and I slotted it away, and I remember the feeling. It was like, wow. I remember running off, going mad. I was going away with England youth that day, so I wasn't coming home with my family, but my dad and granddad were there to see it. And I remember the assistant manager who I got on well with, who took me to Barnet at that time, sort of gave me a big hug and whatever else, and it was a big thing. But yeah, my first professional goal for a first team was Stockport away for Barnet when I was 17/18.
It's a pretty good big ground to get that goal at as well. And just before we wrap up, Josh, I've got an inkling as to what it could be, but what's been your most memorable, your most meaningful goal that you've ever scored?
There's no two ways about it. You know what, that first game this season, coming back to the club and everything that not just I but everyone went through in the summer, and it was a real build-up of emotion. I know I scored against Norwich in the last pre-season game before that, but that was nice. But that on that Saturday, against Cheltenham was something that I'll never really, whether it be to my wife, my family, future people or fans, I'll never ever be able to explain that feeling that I got that day. I've scored, as you say, some goals, but it was weird. It was very, very weird, and I was absolutely over the moon, but it didn't feel real at the same time. I had to keep asking, did that really just happen? And even later that night and the next day, I was like, has that just gone on, So yeah, that, I don't think it would take a lot to be able to beat that.
Well, Josh, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to catching up with you again in the season. Well, that brings a close to another episode of the O Show. A massive thank you to you guys at home for watching. And also thanks to Joby and Josh Wright for coming on today. Now, we'll see you on Saturday when we travel to Exeter, up the O's.